Hey guys, welcome to Real Reviews. I'm Chase Lee, and this is another episode of Netflix Recommendations, Episode 2. I've been watching a lot of movies this past couple weeks, so I figured I would lay some down on you guys and recommend them for you. Now, granted, I saw a lot, and a lot of them were pure dog crap. However, there's a couple gems in there that just made me want to recommend to you. Alright. In no particular order on which ones I like better or anything. These are just suggestions that you guys can go check out. First is Take This Waltz. This one stars Michelle Williams and Seth Rogen, and it is written and directed by Sarah Polley. If you don't know who Sarah Polley is, she was the blonde chick in the Dawn of the Dead remake, which is my favorite Zack Snyder film. She writes and directs this. I think it's the most real adaptation of a wife that wants to cheat on her husband. I know it's really bad to say because I don't endorse that. I'm not a terrible person, but it has some of the most realistic dialogue and situations that would come from that, and I really appreciate that. And Seth Rogen does give a great performance, and you can't deny the guy for trying and getting outside the box from what he normally does, even though I like that stuff. So Take This Waltz, check that one out. Next one is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is directed by James Cameron. This is way before he sunk the Titanic, and he made Blue Cat People. I like Avatar, so sue me. Besides Terminator 2 and True Lies are actually my favorite James Cameron movies. And this is actually my favorite Terminator of the entire series. Judgment Day is so much fun, and it's so action-packed, and it just has so much going for it that it is like the definition of like a summer blockbuster. It is a hell of a ride, and I enjoyed every single moment of it. I remember watching it as a kid, and I watched it a lot as a teenager. I watch a lot now, and it's just a really good action movie. It is non-stop action, by the way. So if you're an action junkie and you've never seen the Terminator series, or even T2 for that matter, see Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I highly recommend that one. For the third one, I'm going to do Slither, and this is directed by James Gunn, who is actually the upcoming director for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the segue movie into the Avengers 2. Slither is a B-horror movie, and what I mean by that is a B-horror movie is something that was made that looks like it was made in the 70s or 80s, and it has that feel to it that like it just can't be feel, but it's so fun and it's so funny and it's gory beyond hell, but it's so much fun, and at the very end of the movie, you'll know why I'm laughing. It's a great time. I recommend Slither if you like those horror comedies. For the fourth one, I do Vanilla Sky, and this one is actually not really everyone's favorite movie. It is directed by Cameron Crowe, and he has done Jerry Maguire as such. But Vanilla Sky is one of those movies that it's just good. It's hard to describe because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's got Tom Cruise in it, and Cameron Diaz, and Penelope Cruz. And I just loved it. It was a nice story. I like Tom Cruise's... I like Tom Cruise. He's a great actor. I like the acting. I like the story. Like I said, the story is great. It's a remake of a Spanish film. I've never seen the Spanish film, but heard it's pretty good. But Vanilla Sky is just one of those things that you have to see and judge for yourself if it's good or not. And just let me know, guys. Vanilla Sky, that's the fourth one. The fifth one is Old Boy, and the reason I bring this one up is because the Red Band trailer for the remake, directed by Spike Lee, came out a couple days ago, and it stars Josh Brolin, Samuel L. Jackson, and a few other people. And it looks okay, but the original Old Boy, it's on Netflix, and it's under foreign films because it's a Japanese film. It is a very, very cool, slick revenge film. It is probably the coolest and slickest revenge film ever made. It is awesome. It is just high octane action from start to finish. It's a pretty cool story. It's actually pretty interesting in how they twist the normal revenge story around and stuff. But I highly recommend that. So foreign section, Old Boy, check out before the remake comes out, because don't let that be your first one. Let the original one be your first one. Then go see the remake, because people are still going to see it anyways. Sorry. The sixth one is End of Watch, and that stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. And They played a couple cops, and it's shot in the documentary style. I actually like that. It was really, it was actually like a gripping, intense movie, and then I like those characters. I think Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena had like some of the greatest chemistry I've seen in like any cop film. So I give them props for that. They did a really good job, and it was a nice movie. It was a nice intense movie. So End of Watch, check that one out. The seventh one is Ants. I'm looking at the screen right here. It's actually the first DreamWorks animated film, and that's when it came out at the same time as A Bug's Life. And I thought Ants was just charming. Come on, Woody Allen plays the voice of the main character, and Sylvester Stallone plays the voice of the giant ant. And I always liked Ants more than Bug's Life. I don't care what anyone says. Well, if you like Bug's Life more, that's fine. I like Bug's Life too. It's great, but Ants is just a tad better for me. It's a fun time. I think you'll enjoy it. And the animation looks so bad. Don't tell anyone it looks terrible. But it was their first movie, so do you blame them? But I recommend Ants, ANTZ. And after 20 years from, well, I mean, it didn't come out 20 years ago, but when it came out, I had no idea why they put the Z instead of the S in the title. I know why now. I know why. And I feel pretty dumb for just now catching that. But I guess as a kid, you don't really comprehend that. The next one is Man on the Moon, and that stars Jim Carrey, and is a bio of Andy Kaufman. And he was kind of like a very unique, eccentric comedian. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought Jim Carrey did great. I thought the acting was great. I thought the writing was great. But man, I hate Andy Kaufman. I'm so glad that, like, I don't want to say like I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad he's not doing stand-up anymore. He's just not funny. I didn't find him funny. All the events that happened in the movie are real though. I was looking them up and they are all true. It's a very weird and bizarre movie, but that was his life. And Jim Carrey did great. You can't fault him for that. I don't like Andy Kaufman like him, like at all. But it was a great movie. I recommend it. It's weird, but I'm a weird guy. So Man on the Moon. Next one is Heckler, and that is a documentary made by Jamie Kennedy, and he basically just goes around asking different comedians and stuff like how they approach hecklers and why people heckle and why are people such critical so critical and everything. And it's a very interesting movie. It's pretty funny too to hear the comedians' takes on hecklers, and even Jamie Kennedy brings people back stage to his shows and be like, so why'd you not like me? And they're just like, well, you suck, man. You're just like, oh, how can I fix that? And they're just like, well, stop doing what you're doing. Like, it was just really funny. I really enjoyed it. It is Heckler, and it should be either in the comedy section or the documentary section. And last but not least is actually one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've seen this movie probably 5 or 6 times, and I still, to this day, one of the best movies of all time, The Truman Show. This also stars Jim Carrey, and he plays a guy who realizes that his life is being recorded, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like, I would rather you just enjoy the ride for this one. It's got brilliant acting, brilliant writing. The story is phenomenal. It's just something that was never done back in the day, and the last scene of the film, it just makes you think as an audience member of what Jim Carrey's character does and stuff, and it just leaves a lot of questions open. But it's one of the best movies of all time ever made, in my opinion. The Truman Show. You need to check that one out. That one should be under comedy or drama. Probably drama, though. So let me run down the list. Take This Waltz, Seth Rogen. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, James Cameron. Good action movie. We have Slither, directed by James Gunn. B-horror comedy. Very funny. Vanilla Sky, starring Tom Cruise, directed by Cameron Crowe. And it's a very interesting movie. Check that out. We have Old Boy in the foreign section, and it is a great revenge story that I'm sure that you will love. We have End of Watch, a gritty cop documentary shot film with Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. We have Ants, animated film, voice talents of Woody Allen and Sylvester Stallone. We have Heckler, a documentary made by Jamie Kennedy, and it's a very, very nice documentary. We have Man on the Moon, starring Jim Carrey, and it's the life of Andy Kaufman. And one of my personal all-time favorites of all time, The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey. It's great. All those movies are very, watchable, or none of them are terrible. I'm sure some of you guys will think that some movies I just suggest are terrible, but that's okay. I love opinions, and I love when people argue and stuff, because I just love talking about movies with you guys. So, have you seen any of those movies, and what do you suggest on Netflix? Tell me what to watch, because I'm starting to run out of ideas myself. Also, side note, The Avengers is on Netflix, and if you haven't seen The Avengers, watch The Avengers. It's good stuff. Alright, so comment below if you've seen any of those, or if you have any suggestions. And thanks for watching reviews. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. See you guys later.